Rwandan Development Bank, especially when there is that impact and development included in that project. But as government, we don't.
Yeah. Anybody else? Yes. One second. Sorry. I just want to give a chance to the other side. Is that okay? No, just the other side. Let me give a chance to the other side. And then one second. Seriously, yeah? Yeah. Right there first here.
Thank you. Thank you for the nice introduction into everyone, folks. You mentioned a lot of businesses happening here. My question is, in all these businesses, I'm interested basically on investing in private school here and buying properties. You mentioned something about building and so on. Is it wise to build properties or buy flats to rent out? Two questions. And in all this, how is the immigration status involved? Can I come as an African or Nigerian, just come and start doing businesses? I know there is immigration status in place. How difficult or how easy it is for an investor to come in and start investing, taking into consideration the immigration perspective? Because I can come from Nigeria or England or anywhere. Can I just come, you know what, I want to buy that land, I want to build that, I want to do that? What are the implications involved regarding the immigration status? If it's easy, fine. If it's difficult, how long? What is the procedure? Too many. Sorry.
He is afraid that it will be difficult. If you want, I have a good news for you. So in Rwanda, for example, if you want to buy a property and you are a foreigner, of course, you are allowed to buy the first property, like 300 square meter for residential purpose. But if you want to buy more than that, you must have a project for business purpose. For example, what is you are required is like to have, as you said, you want to come and invest in real estate. That is a project. Or open a school. That is a project. All you have to do is for us to see that you are committed. You register that project. You must have a business plan and register that project. And also at RDB, we have a migration person sitting there, and his role is to facilitate investors. So when you are an investor, you don't have to go to migration. Of course, the first, when you are entering, it's open. But when it comes to permit, renewal residential permit, as long as you are doing something in Rwanda, you have your investment certificate. That is easier. Even that account manager who will be given to you while you are registering your company will be able to follow up for your work permit or residential, everything related to your family. And also in our investment code, if an investor is investing up to 250,000 USD, he has a choice to bring up to 3 people of his choice without the government checking that their skills is lacking on the market.
3 people from anywhere.
All right, it can be your cousin, your anyone. We want to check whether, we want to check whether he is normally, for example, if you want to bring an accountant and you say, okay, I have a project, I need to bring an accountant and I'm requesting for a work permit for that accountant. We have to look, why would you bring an accountant and then you have an accountant in Rwanda? So you have to prove that that accountant has a special skill that you can't find on the local market. But one of the incentives that is given under our investment code is that you are allowed to bring in 3 people of your choice. You can bring your grandma, the government won't check. That is part of those 3 people. Now, apart from that, if you are investing in Rwanda, you have a project in Rwanda, the work permit, that will be the RDB problem because you will be our investor. So we facilitate you to get a work permit and other required project. And I mean document for your family because you are establishing as a business person. And also when it comes to whether it's better to buy a house or it's better to build, that will be depend on your business plan. You know, that's, I want to go into detail that. I'm not, I don't know how, because you have to look at what is profitable, because it depends. If you have a land, you get a land which is cheaper and you are building, it will depend on what kind of type of houses you are building. Are they affordable housing? Are they luxury villas? Because, for example, the Rwandan Pension Fund has a project for luxury villas and they are looking for partners. When it's that is special category of houses. You can't buy it anywhere, because buying also you have to look. I think it's always better to buy. Of course, to build. Of course, I would advise you to build, because when you are building, you create more jobs than buying. So that was a joke. But I think that will depend, of course, on your business plan, but also on the kind of type of houses you want to build. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I don't know whether I responded to your question.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we have Otumba, then like 2 other people from this side, so we can keep the time. Thank you.
Thank you again for your very concise presentation. I have particular interest in agro-industrial and food and beverages, as well as infrastructure. And I was wondering, I didn't really see any, you talked about a few things, but I was wondering specifically, just like real estate, you have a list of projects and opportunities in those 2 sectors. So that's my question.
In real estate?
In agro-industrial, food and beverages, as well as infrastructure.
In infrastructure, okay. For real estate, we have a list of like a number of projects that you can invest in or partner with those promoters who are already in that. But for agriculture, we have those opportunities that we listed. But for projects, the project that we have when it comes to agriculture, we have 2 projects, Gabiro Agro Business Hub and the GACO. Those are key, ready to invest in projects that are being promoted by the government. But also you might find other like projects owned by private. But those ones, of course, they are private related. Those ones we don't have them in our database. For us, we are not the ones. We are not promoting those ones. But as far as agriculture is concerned, I understand that there is that issue of land. So once you know what you are going to grow, we have different like irrigation lands that the government has put in infrastructures, but they are owned by small farmers. So what we do, as long as you know exactly what you want to grow, then we link you with those farmers, because they own the land, and then you can work with them and grow. They can grow, you can agree on the model to use. But for those projects that the government is promoting, we have a Gabiro, and also we do have a GACO. But in agriculture is also open, because the land in Rwanda is owned by those small farmers. Of course, even if the government, like you have one in Eastern Province, if you are interested, what you can do, you can link you with them. But for that, of course, you have to know how the size of land that you are looking for and what you want to grow in that land. But for partnership is, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Chairman, and one more person from this side.
Thank you. I'll try to keep mine very simple and straight. I want to know what is the current interest rate in Rwanda, first, and secondly, do you have any systems in place for due diligence if you're dealing with private businesses? Any systems that aid due diligence? Let's say I want to do a business with, just like you said, rather than the projects that the government is given, if these private businesses they're dealing with, do you have any systems that aid due diligence? Thank you.
So the interest rate for loan from the bank Okay. Sorry?
Yeah, go ahead.
For example, it depends. For example, that line for those investing in agriculture, they are giving it at 8%. But normal loan, it is 16, between 16 and 17, but it's negotiable. But those for example, that said that it is called, for agriculture, it is 80%. But normally for AGOA, I think it's 10%. But for normal loans is between 16 and 17%. But you can
One more
negotiate.
question.
The second part of the question.
Due diligence.
Yeah, of course we do. We do have, but you live in Rwanda, you know. For example, if we have a company from Nigeria and they are looking to do business in Rwanda, then maybe they want to partner with the government, and one of the projects that the government is working on is promoting, the first thing to do is to work with our embassies overseas in Nigeria. We ask them to come to visit you, to see whether the address that you have given is the right one, to know more about the company. That's the first stage. And then, of course, we have systems, and then we can go further depending on the findings, the preliminary findings. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. The question I want to ask is this. The government or RDP, do they have a particular amount of money, minimum amount of money that an investor must have in order to invest in Rwanda?
Yeah, so in our investment code of 2015, we had a threshold for an investor to be qualified as investor. You know that there is a difference between a company, like someone doing business and investor. Because, for example, we have two registration. We have company registration, meaning everyone doing business in Rwanda has to register to RDB. That is the one free of charge and is done online. Within few hours, we get your company registration certificate, and you will be officially and legally established in Rwanda. But that one, everyone, whether you are a trader, you are bringing stuff from, importing from Nigeria to Rwanda. But for an investor to be qualified to get to access incentives that are given under investment code, and also that migration incentives those that I talked about, incentives given, you have to register as an investor. That is the registration that is talking about. That is the one we used to have a minimum amount required for an investor or someone doing business in Rwanda to be qualified as an investor. But in our new investment code that of 2021, we don't have any requirement on amount. What we look at is the sector, the key sector. Everyone investing in key sectors of our economy that we are promoting is qualified to access, of course, those incentives, or to register as an investor, to have that investment certificate. So to respond to your question, there is no minimum amount. But for specific incentives, for example, if you are investing up to 50 million USD, you could have access to 7 years tax holiday. If you are investing 50 million USD and 30% is equity, then you can have that 7 years tax holiday. But it doesn't mean that, for example, if you are investing, you are starting an agriculture project, and you know that agriculture projects, they are small in nature. So if you are investing like 10,000 or any amount, you will be also qualified for investment certificate. But of course, you want to get access to that incentives of 7 years tax holiday. That one you want to get, but you get other incentives, like you will be facilitated to get work permit because you are investing in a key sector. You will get those tax incentives. You'll be given an account manager. You will have a reduction on